In this video, I'm sharing 7 secret tips elite Madden players use to score more points and play lockdown defense. From powerful zones no one knows about, or unstoppable routes you need in your offense, these tips will take your game to the next level. So let's get into it. What's up guys? So for the first tip, we're gonna go over mid-reads, and mid-reads are very, very powerful. I get a lot of questions about how to guard the middle of the field. And most of the time, you're going to use the middle of the field. But there are times where you can use mid-reads to guard the middle of the field, and that will let you kind of lurk other areas because you have a zone there. Now, I want to go over how you can get a mid-read on the field and what they guard. Now, to start, cover 2 zone plays always have mid-reads on the field, just stock. So if you need a mid-read, you could just call cover 2. But you can pretty much call any play that you want. So we can go to cover 3 sky here, and you can adjust one of your linebackers to be in a mid-read. So you can go to them individually, press A or X, and then go down with the left stick, and then that player will be in a mid-read. Or you can quick adjust into a mid-read. You can do this by double tapping right on the D-pad, pressing the linebacker's icon, and then going down with the left stick, and that will do the job as well. Now, what routes do mid-reads guard? Well, they do a very good job of guarding deep digs, crossers, or posts. And sometimes they could guard seam streaks very well. So first, let's go over how this mid-read guards that post route, that red route, and I just want to show you this because that post is one of the best in the game. And I want to show you that a mid-read could guard it very well. But before I show you that, the one important thing that you always have to do when you have a mid-read on the field is shade underneath. And you can do that by pressing Y or triangle and down on the right stick. This will make the mid-read play very, very well. So we're going to snap the ball here, and you're going to see the post is completely locked down in the middle of the field, and the mid-read lurks it, cuts it off for an easy interception. And that happens on a couple of other routes as well. But I want to go to the instant replay just to show you how this mid-read reacts. He backs up into the intermediate middle part of the field, and then if they throw it to the post, he will lurk the post for easy interceptions. Now, what if we have a dig route? So I'm going to set up a regular flood concept on the left with a dig route or just a deep in route on the back side. So what we're going to do here is shade underneath. We're just going to move this guy in a little bit, and you're going to see that the dig route will also be guarded. And you literally just can't throw that in the middle of the field because the mid-read plays it so well. So now you see we are in the play verticals, and you're going to see that this mid-read will completely lock down the inside trips receiver on a crosser. So I'm going to get off of him, use the D-line, and when I snap the ball, you're going to see that you can't throw that in the middle of the field, or, well, that time the deep quarter lock that up, but you saw that the mid-read, so let's go to the instant replay real quick. This is the player on the mid-read. The mid-read is locking this whole area down. And I don't have a pull route streak to pull that deep quarter back, but let's actually show you real quick. So if I do have a pull route, so I put a pull route streak on the tight end, then I put this player on a mid-read, shade underneath by pressing Y or triangle down on the right stick, you're gonna see that the mid-read will guard that crosser for an easy lurk and interception. So I highly recommend you use mid-reads when you are trying to guard the middle of the field, especially when you struggle with deep digs, crossers, or posts. For the second tip, we're gonna go over how you can put wheel routes on your receivers without the ability Hot Route Master. They're also called something like flip streaks, which again, they pretty much are just wheel routes. Now to do this, it's very simple. All you have to do is flip the play, and you can do that by pressing X or square and then RT or R2. Then when the player that you want on a wheel route is between the O-line, you just want to put him on a streak. So I'll show you right here. So I want the Y receiver on a streak, and then I put him on a streak when he's in between the O-line, and he becomes a wheel route. Now you can also control the length of the wheel route and what side the wheel route goes to. So if you want the wheel route to be on the left side, you have to put that player on a streak when he's on the left side of the line. And when I say line, I just mean the O-line. So if you want a wheel route going to the right, you need to put the receiver on a streak when he's on the right side of the O-line. So I'll show you right here. If I want a wheel route going to the left, I'm going to put the wide receiver on a streak when he's on the left side of the O-line. So now we have a wheel route going to the left side. But what if I want a wheel route going to the left side when I flip the play to the right? Well, I can just put him on a streak when he's on the left side of the O-line, and now we have an inverted streak going towards the middle of the field. Now, how can you control the length of a flip streak or wheel route? Well, that's also very simple. The more inwards you put the receiver on a streak, the longer the wheel route will be. So if you put the receiver on a streak when he's at the left guard, it will be longer than if you were to put him on a streak at the left tackle. So I'm going to flip the play and show you that real quick. So I'm going to put him on a streak when he's near the left guard, and we see it's a pretty big wheel route. But if I flip the play again, and then I put him on a streak when he's at the right tackle, you're going to see it's a lot shorter of a wheel route. So that's how you can control the length and the direction of the wheel routes or flip streaks. Now, what's a cool route combo that you can do with these wheel routes or flip streaks? Well, it's actually kind of simple and very, very unique. So right now, I'm actually going to flip the play going to the right. So I'm going to flip the play, and I'm going to put my middle trips receiver on a deeper wheel route, and then I'm just going to leave that streak on the outside receiver. And if the defense is in like a cover 3, a cover 2, or a cover 3 or cover 4, you're gonna see that the wheel route will be wide open over the top of the flat for an easy possession catch. Now, when we go into the instant replay, you're gonna see why this is so open. This streak will pull back the deep zone. And because this guy's on a wheel route, he goes to the flats first, and then he goes up the field. That buys time for this streak to push the deep zone back, leaving all of this empty green space wide open for a throw and possession catch on the sidelines, and sometimes for a touchdown, depending where you are on the field. But the key is you want to wait till after he gets past the flat, so then you can pass lead the ball up for an easy catch. And sometimes you could pass lead the ball down if you think you need to throw it away from this defender. Now, another cool thing you can do is use the inverted wheel route. So you're going to see here that we have the wheel route going to the inside, but this is kind of like a drag and then up. So you're going to see when I snap the ball, he goes down and then he goes up the field, and you can hit him in the seams. So it kind of looks like a drag, so it might not even catch the user's attention. And then when he goes up the field, that's when you can hit him. So you're going to see he goes in like a drag and then up the field. And when a user sees that, he's not going to expect him to just go randomly up the field or up the seam. So you're going to be able to kind of surprise attack your opponent for an easy throw up the seam just like that. And that's how you can get wheel routes on your receivers without using the ability Hot Route Master. For tip number 3, I'm going to go over how you can make hook curl zones much, much better. Now on defense, I'm in a cover 4 drop shaded underneath. And on offense, I'm in the formation trips tight end flex, running the play motion wide post. And a very popular setup is to simply put the B receiver on a streak. Now, when you look at the defensive play art, it seems like the hook curl should guard the return route on the left side of the screen. But even when shaded down, you're gonna see that the hook curl actually runs with the streak a good bit, like 10 yards up the field, leaving this return route wide open for an easy 10 yards. Now, that's not very good because when you shade down, I think the hook curl should play at like 5 yards. But you see in the instant replay that he runs with the streak for probably 10, 12 yards, maybe a little bit more, leaving this short area of the field wide open, leaving returns, drags, all those types of routes wide open. So how can we fix this? Well, it's very, very simple. All we're gonna do is go to our coaching adjustments, and then we're gonna go to our zone drops, and we wanna go to hooks and put hooks at 5 yards. Then we're just gonna go to cover 4 drop again. We're gonna pick the same play. We're going to shade underneath, and then let me set up the offense real quick. So we have the same offensive play, we have the same defensive play, but this time hooks are on 5 yards. And you're gonna see with hooks on 5 yards, the hook will stay at 5 yards to guard that return route. And even though the return route caught it, you still saw we were in better position to make a play. Now, we didn't get the pick, but again, we were in a better spot to make a play, and you could also even, I guess, switch stick to that player, but you shouldn't have to. Let me do that again so you can see probably an incompletion. That shouldn't have happened because, you know, a contested catch like that shouldn't be caught. But here we go. We're going to do the same thing again. Same thing on offense. I'm going to snap the ball, and you're going to see the hook curl at 5 yards. There we go. Gets the pick and completely bags that return route. So if you need to guard underneath routes like returns or drags, hook curls on 5 yards could do that for you. For tip number 4, we're gonna go over custom stemmed speed outs and why you need them in your offense. So basically, the number one reason why you need speed outs is because they beat man or zone, and you can get easy yards if your opponent doesn't know how to guard them. So you're gonna see right now we have a speed out on our outside receiver, custom stemmed about 10 yards up, and right now we're just in a normal cover 4 drop, which is the meta. And you're gonna see that the speed out could be a normal cover 4 drop, just like that on the sidelines, even without a pull route. Now I do recommend you use a pull route, but I wanna show you that if you do the right pass lead, which when you pass lead these balls, you want it down and away from this defender. So in this case, I'm pointing it down and a little bit to the right, so you could pass lead it down here, and then you wanna click onto your receiver and come back to the ball to get an easy catch on the sidelines. And again, this is with no pull route streak. So that is against cover 4 drop with a deep quarter, but let's try to put a pull route on the field. So let's just motion the running back out, and then we're gonna put this guy, the outside receiver, on a speed out. And the way we do that is by pressing wire triangle, pressing the receiver's icon, and then going left on the left stick. And then to custom stem it up, I recommend using the D-pad. So you're going to press wire triangle, press the receiver's icon, hold LB or L1, and then you're going to move the D-pad or click the D-pad up 2 times. So 1, 2. And you're gonna see he goes up about 10 to 15 yards. Now, you're gonna see, again, we're in a cover 4 drop. This streak by the running back is going to pull the deep zones up the field, leaving the speed out wide open. And he ran that a little weird, but you saw with a pass lead down, you still get wide open catches. So let's go to the instant replay. And you're gonna see that the streak pulls the deep zones back and the speed out is wide open. And it's very hard to switch stick because it's a fast route. It's not like a corner that has to develop. This goes straight up and then right out to the sidelines, and it's just very hard to guard. Even if your opponent knows it's coming, it's like you have to switch stick to one of these guys, and that would open up other things. So speed outs are just very, very good. But what about man coverage? So let's switch to a man coverage. I actually don't have a man coverage in here, so let's just man him up. And then let's shade underneath. So shading underneath, man coverage on the outside. 1, 2, we're gonna custom stem it twice up with the D-pad. Let's see how this works. And you're gonna see, with a good pass lead and come back to the ball, it's an easy catch, even with man coverage shaded underneath. You see here, you wanna throw it right when he breaks, because if you throw it too late, so if I throw it right here, it's giving this defender kind of like an easy way to pick the ball off. But if you throw it right when the wide receiver is breaking, he doesn't have enough time to pick the ball off and cut the throw off for an easy pick. But if we have good timing, we throw the ball here and then click onto the receiver and come back, we get easy yards. So let's try man coverage shaded up, which will actually beat man coverage much, much better, because they're looking, actually let's just make sure we have this here. Okay, there we go. The man coverage is shaded up, and it's actually gonna beat the man coverage better because he's looking for any deep routes, and so he turns his shoulders and we get an easy throw, a horrible animation. Let's just do that again. Actually, I wanna go to the instant replay, because if you see here, when he's shaded up, he's gonna turn his shoulders faster because he's trying to be ready for any deep routes, but we cut it off to the sidelines, so we have all this separation and we get a horrible animation. I don't know what that was. Let's just do that one more time. We're gonna man him up. We're gonna shade over the top, move this guy out of the way. Make sure we have the speed out on the field. You're gonna see, hopefully we get a better animation here, and we do on the sideline. So that's why you need speed outs in your offense, because they beat man or zone. Against man, they create separation, and against zone, they could create separation from the deep zone without a pull route. But again, I still recommend having a pull route streak to make sure that deep zone is pulled up the field. For the next tip, I'm gonna show you how you can user press receivers or tight ends to completely take them out of the play. So let's say, for example, number 9, the inside trips receiver, is giving you a lot of issues on this deep crosser. Well, something you can do is user press him. And you're gonna see when I user press him, he is completely taken out of the play and he doesn't get open at all. And it completely disrupts your opponent's reads. And obviously we're only sending 3 players here, so the rush isn't gonna get in. But for this example, I just wanna show you that user press. Now, how do you user press? Well, there's a secret way you can user press, and that's by holding LB or L1 over the receiver you want to press. So for example, if I want to press this inside trips receiver, I'm just going to hold LB or L1, and then at the snap, you're going to move the left stick towards that player, and you're going to see we get a user press on him, and he's completely taken out of the play. Now, you can also do this with other receivers as well. So let's say this tight end. This tight end's on a corner. Well, that's a pretty good route, but I can completely take it out of the play by holding LB or L1 over the tight end, moving my left stick, and you see I user press him, and it completely disrupts the route and the reads by your opponent. So if your opponent has like a 3-read play and you take out one of those reads, then he only has 2 reads and you have to only worry about 2 other routes. So that's why user pressing is really, really good. Now let me show you another example of that. So let's say we have a normal flood concept on the left side with that backside dig, which is very popular. Well, if they're spamming that, well, guess what? All I have to do here is user press this corner, and now if the pressure gets in, he has nowhere to throw because we're taking away his main reads. And you're going to see when I go to the instant replay, the flat is guarded by the flat, the corner is getting user pressed, and then this deep dig is getting guarded by that hook curl. And this time the 3-man pressure did come in that time, but you see there like how good user pressing can be. But I want to show you an advanced tip that you could do while user pressing. So let's say, for example, again, they run that flood concept with the backside dig. But this time, we want to be sure that we guard that deep dig when it's kind of breaking late. So I'm going to user press the inside trips receiver, and then I'm going to switch stick off of that player, and you're going to see that the player that was man pressed on him will stay manned up on that player while you're switch sticking to other zones. So I'm going to show you this right now. So I'm going to snap the ball, I'm going to user press him, and then I'm just going to switch stick, and you see he still stays manned up on that player, but now we're guarding that deep dig with the other hook curl because we switch sticked. So let me go to the instant replay real quick, and you're going to see that when we user press, we knock him out of the play, but then we switch stick to this player, but this player still stays manned up on him, and then we're on the hook curl guarding the deep dig, and everything is locked up. So you can do this in literally any defense that you run, and you can do this against any route combo. It's super, super beneficial to mess up your opponent. In the next tip, I'm going over 2 overpowered routes that are ran by the running back. That is the wheel route and the running back streak. Now they both do different things. The running back streak is very good against zone coverage, and the wheel route is very good against man coverage. The wheel route could be good against zone, but it's even better against man. Now you're gonna see on defense, I'm in a cover 1, and you're gonna see that the wheel route will completely burn his defender. All you have to do is pass lead the ball up, away from the defender and in stride for an easy touchdown. And if your opponent is running cover 1 or cover 0, you can throw this wheel route all day and he won't be able to guard it because wheel routes just completely burn man defense. Now, how about running back streaks? Well, running back streaks are very good because it goes into the seam, and you're gonna see against cover 3 or cover 4 that running back streaks will get wide open quick or late, and you're gonna see we get an easy 5 to 6 yards there against cover 4 shaded underneath. So you're gonna see, let's go to cover 4, shade underneath, and you're gonna see again that this running back can be hit super quick out of the backfield, just like that, and you can try to rack catch it for easy yards. But what about cover 3? Well, it's pretty much the same exact thing. So right here, usually cover 3 will look something like this, and then we're gonna do the same route combo where I put the outside receiver on a flat, the running back on a streak. And you're gonna see that the streak will get open right here for easy yards. And now sometimes another thing is that the user, when you play somebody online, won't really guard the running back streak because they're worried about other things. So for example, I might run a flood concept on the left, put that receiver on a flat, and then the running back on a streak. Now, when the opponent sees a corner route, they might run with the corner. So that will open up the middle of the field even more because the running back streaks are kind of sneaky like that because you don't really see that it's coming out of the backfield. You're going to see if the reuser runs with the corner, we have a wide open dot to the running back in the seam. So I highly recommend you use wheel routes against man, and then running back streaks against zone. For the last tip, I'm gonna go over a very unique and advanced switch stick mechanic. Now on offense, I'm in motion Y post again, and I'm just gonna put B on a slant because I just wanna show you a really cool way that I guard this, and you can kind of incorporate it into other defenses as well. Now when I'm facing this defense, one of my go-to defensive setups is to simply man up my user to the tight end, put the slot corner in a vert hook, and then I don't have a blitz setup, but I'll usually send 4 people like this. Then I would put the other slot corner to vert hook and the outside corner on the tight end side on a hard flat. Now the coverage that I'm running right now has nothing to do with the tip. I mean, it kind of does, but I just want to show you why I'm manning up my user to the tight end. And it's all because of switch sticking. So right now, what I'm gonna do, I already have the guy on a slant. So what's gonna happen when I snap the ball, I'm going to run with the tight end a little bit, and then I'm going to switch stick to one of my zones to guard other routes. And you're gonna see the guy that I am going to switch stick off of will still be manned up to the tight end, and he's gonna run with the tight end because he's manned up to him. So I'm actually just gonna put this guy in a QB spy so the rush doesn't get to the QB. I'm gonna snap the ball, I'm gonna run a little bit, then I'm just gonna switch stick to the slant, guard that, and you're gonna see that the man up by the tight end, or the man up on the tight end, is completely bagged. So I'm gonna go to the instant replay, and you're gonna see the tight end is manned up with my user. I switch stick off of the user, and he still runs with the tight end, completely locking him down, and it even makes him kind of stop in the middle of the field. Now, I think that's just the route. That's actually not the man up that makes him do that, but nonetheless, he is still locked up, and it makes it a very hard throw. Meanwhile, I am now guarding a slant, and I could even switch stick even over here to guard the return in the middle of the field. But the switch sticking mechanic with a man up gives you a lot of different ways to play defense. Now, what are some other ways I can do this? Well, let's say my opponent is running a flood concept on the left side. So something you can do is man up your user to the corner, and then you can switch stick off of him to guard maybe a backside route like a post. So at the snap, we're gonna run towards the player, we're gonna switch stick and then guard the post. And now we have a corner guarded and a post guarded. And those are two probably of the best routes in the game. So let's go to the instant replay, and you're gonna see that the user is manned up to the corner. We switch stick off of that player. He still runs with the corner, and we switch stick to the other linebacker or the hook curl and guard the middle of the field. So it gives you so many different ways to play defense and can really mess up your opponent's reads. I hope this video helped you out, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Be sure you like and subscribe for more content just like this, and I'll see you next time.